We have breaking news in terms of who will be the next president. Emmanuel Macron is the projection by French media. Chris Dickey, the Daily Beast World News editor, has been following along with us this election on an evening there. The polls just closing and the projections are out. Chris, the surprising point might be the gap here by which Macron has won. This as we look at some of the celebrations. In this case, Marine Le Pen just taking to the microphones. What was she saying there as well, Chris?
Le Pen was conceding defeat. Look, I think something that you need to understand is that this is not just projections based on exit polls. These are the projections of the Interior Ministry and the Prime Minister of the country. They made the announcement based on a sampling of actual balloting across the country. There isn't really any question mark here except for maybe fractions of percentage points. Emmanuel Macron has won by 65% of the vote, a massive victory over Marine Le Pen. Her party did do much better than it's ever done in the past, but she is going to have a very difficult time establishing herself as the opposition, and he is going to have a much easier time forming a government. This is a huge setback for the internationalist ideas of people like Steve Bannon around President Trump, with the idea that they were going to take apart Europe, take apart NATO, and basically create a situation that, among other people, Vladimir Putin of Russia thought would be just great if Marine Le Pen won. Well, she didn't win. Emmanuel Macron has won, and Le Pen is now, at least this candidacy of Le Pen, is history.
Chris, what is next now that we have the results here right after the 8 p.m. hour locally? What's next in the process?
Well, what's going to happen now is that within a week, the current president, François Hollande, will move out of the Élysée Palace and Emmanuel Macron will move in. He will appoint an interim government because we are looking at legislative elections just a month away, a two-phase election in the middle of June. And he will be trying to organize his movement into a party that can gain at least a substantial presence in that assembly, if not indeed a majority. He's also going to be trying to draw on both the traditional centrist conservatives and the traditional centrist part of the Socialist Party. Already, the current Minister of Defense in the Socialist government is clearly a Macron man and on his side. We expect that we'll see other people drawn to him. He will try to form a government after those legislative elections that can last through some pretty considerable reforms that he has in mind. Certainly nothing like Marine Le Pen had in mind, withdrawing from Europe and withdrawing from the euro and weakening NATO, but something rather more like the traditional liberal economists have believed would work better in France, the liberalization of the labor laws, things like that. He's going to work very closely with NATO, very closely with the European Union. I think that Theresa May in England is going to have a much harder time negotiating a Brexit deal with the European Union now, because they will hold together, which they would not have done if Le Pen had been elected. So a lot is at stake here. A lot has yet to be decided, but the one thing that has been decided is who the next president of France will be, and that is Emmanuel Macron, a man of 39 years old, who has never held elective office before, but is considered one of the brightest lights in the political firmament here.
Hello to everyone. This is a message for American researchers, entrepreneurs, engineers working on climate change. Last Saturday, I invited you to come to France and join European and French researchers to work on climate change here, because here you are welcome. I do know how your new president now has decided to jeopardize your budget, your initiatives, as he is extremely skeptical about climate change. I have no doubt about climate change and how committed we have to be regarding this issue. So I have two messages. The very first one, for the French and European researchers, we will preserve our budgets, we will reinforce our investment, our public and private investment, in order to do more and accelerate our initiative in order to deliver in line with COP21. And second, a message for you guys. Please, come to France. You are welcome. It's your nation. We like innovation. We want innovative people. We want people working on climate change, energy, renewables, and new technologies. France is your nation. Thanks.
Trust
Et j'en suis désormais le
obliges
dépositaire.
me to carry it
Ne
through.
pas vous
I am the
décevoir.
depository of that
Être
trust,
À la
not
hauteur de
to
celle-ci.
disappoint you,
Et
and to
porter
be
durant
equal
les
to the
5 années
task,
qui viennent
and
l'élan
to
qui est le vôtre,
make
l'élan
sure
que
that
vous
the
représentez.
tremendous impetus that you represent will be carried through my 5 years mandate.
Je veux aussi ce soir
I want also this evening
avoir un mot
to say a word
pour les Français qui ont
for
voté
those
pour moi
French people who
sans
voted
avoir nos idées.
for me.
Vous vous êtes engagés
You committed
et je sais qu'il
And
ne s'agit pas là
I
d'un
know
blanc-seing.
that it's not
Je veux avoir un mot
that simple. I
pour
want
les
to
Français qui
say
ont
something
voté
to
simplement
those
pour
French people
défendre
who
la
voted
République.
simply to defend the Republic.
Face à l'extrémisme,
Confronted by
je sais
extremism,
nos désaccords.
I understand
respecterai.
our divergences and I will
Et je
respect
serai
them,
fidèle
but I will be faithful
à cet engagement pris.
to this
Je
commitment
protégerai la
that
République.
I undertake to defend the Republic.
Et je veux enfin avoir un mot
And I also
pour ceux qui ont
want to say a
voté
word
aujourd'hui pour Madame
for
Le Pen.
those who voted today for
Ne les
Madame
sifflez
Le
pas.
Pen. No, don't boo.
Ils ont exprimé,
They
ils ont
expressed
aujourd'hui
today
une colère, un
anger,
désarroi,
dismay
parfois des convictions.
and sometimes convictions.
Je les respecte,
I respect them,
mais je ferai tout
but I will do
durant
everything
les 5 années qui
during the
viennent
5 years to come
pour qu'il n'ait plus aucune raison
to make sure that
de
there
voter
is no
pour les extrêmes.
reason at all to vote for extremes.
Ce soir,
Tonight,
il n'y a que les Françaises et les Français,
it is
le peuple
only
de France
the men and
réunis.
women of
Et
France,
ce que
the
vous
people of France
représentez ce soir
united,
ici au Louvre,
and what you
c'est une
represent
ferveur,
tonight
un
in the
enthousiasme,
Louvre is a fervor,
c'est l'énergie
an
du
enthusiasm,
peuple de France.
and the energy of the people of France.
Et ce lieu dans lequel nous
And
nous retrouvons,
this place
dit
we are
cela.
gathered in says that.
Il est parcouru par notre histoire,
It has gone through our
de
entire
l'Ancien
history,
Régime à
through
la
the Ancien
libération de
Régime,
Paris,
to the liberation
de
of
la
Paris,
Révolution française,
through the
à
French
l'audace de
Revolution,
cette pyramide.
to the boldness of
C'est
this
le lieu
pyramid behind me.
de
It
tous les
is the
Français,
place where
de
all
toutes les Françaises,
French people,
de toutes les Françaises.
a place for
Ce lieu,
all French people.
C'est celui de
This
la
place
France,
is that
le monde
of
regarde.
France, which the entire
Car ce
world
soir,
is looking
c'est
at.
l'Europe,
Because
c'est le monde qui
tonight
nous
it is
regarde.
Europe and the world looking at us.
l'Europe et le monde
Europe and the world
attendent que nous
is
défendions partout
expecting us
l'esprit des
to
Lumières,
defend
menacé
the
dans
spirit
tant
of the
d'endroits.
Enlightenment, which is threatened in so many
Ils
places.
attendent que partout
They expect
nous défendions
that everywhere
les
we
libertés,
should
que
defend
nous protégions
the freedom
les opprimés.
which we have, that we protect
Ils
the oppressed.
attendent
They
nous portions
expect
une nouvelle
that
espérance,
we should
un nouvel
bring a
humanisme,
new hope, a new
celui d'un
humanism
monde plus sûr,
to the world, to make
d'un monde
the
de liberté
world
défendue,
safer,
d'un
to
monde de croissance,
defend
de
freedoms
plus de justice,
and growth,
de plus
a world
d'écologie.
of more justice and more
Ils attendent
ecology.
que nous soyons
They expect
enfin,
us
nous,
to be finally ourselves.
la tâche qui nous attend
The task
chers concitoyens,
before us, dear citizens,
est immense
is
et elle
huge,
commencera
and
dès demain.
it will begin as
Elle
from
imposera
tomorrow.
de moraliser la vie publique,
We will have to make public life
de défendre
more
notre vitalité
moral.
démocratique,
We have to defend the vitality
de renforcer
of our
notre
democracy.
économie,
We have to strengthen
de
our
construire
economy.
les nouvelles
We have to
protections
build new
de ce monde
forms
qui
of
nous
protection for this world
donner une
which
place à
surrounds
chacun
us,
par
and
l'école et
to
le
make sure that
travail
everybody
et la
has a
culture,
place through schooling,
de refonder
through
notre Europe
culture, to
et
refound
d'assurer
Europe,
la sécurité
and to
de tous
ensure
les
the
Français.
security of all French people.
Cette tâche qui
This
nous attend
task, this challenge before
est
us
immense.
is huge,
et elle imposera
and
de
it will
continuer à être audacieux.
require of us
Oui,
that
ce
we
soir,
continue to be
Nous avons gagné
brave.
un droit
This
qui nous
evening we
oblige.
have gained a right,
avez choisi l'audace.
a right
Et
which
cette audace, nous la poursuivrons.
is
Et chaque jour qui vient,
courage,
nous
and we will
continuerons à la
pursue
porter,
this courage
parce que
every
c'est ce que les
day, and
Françaises
we
et
will
les Français
continue
attendent.
to do that, because
Parce
that's what
que
French
c'est ce que
people
l'Europe
are
et
expecting.
le monde
It's what Europe
attendent de
and the
nous.
world is expecting of us.
Ils attendent
They are
qu'à
expecting
nouveau,
that
la France les étonne,
once again
que la
France
France
should
soit elle-même.
amaze
Et c'est
them,
cela ce
that
que nous
France
ferons.
should be itself, and that's precisely what we will do.
Notre tâche est immense, mes amis.
Our challenge is huge,
exigera
friends,
l'engagement de
and
chacun.
it will require the commitment
L'engagement
of everybody,
de nos armées,
the commitment of our
de nos
armed
forces de
forces,
l'ordre,
our law
de nos
enforcement
services
agencies, our public
Votre
services,
engagement, chacune et chacun,
and the commitment of
élus,
each and every one
associations,
of the
dirigeants,
elected
syndicats,
associations,
salariés,
trades unions, salaried
fonctionnaires,
workers, civil servants,
commerçants, artisans,
merchants, art and
agriculteurs,
tradesmen, farmers,
étudiants, retraités.
students, pensioners.
Notre tâche est immense
Our challenge is
et
huge,
elle imposera
and it will
l'exigence de la vérité,
require
le
that
courage
we
de la vérité,
demand
celui
truth,
que
the
durant
courage
cette
of
campagne,
truth,
nous avons constamment porté,
the truth
et
which
que je
throughout this
continuerai
entire
de porter pour
campaign
vous.
we have borne and which I will continue to bear on your behalf.
Notre tâche est immense et elle
Our
imposera de
challenge is huge,
construire
and it will
dès demain
impose on us
une majorité vraie,
the duty
une
to build
majorité forte.
a true, strong
Cette
majority,
majorité de changement,
a majority
c'est
for
ce à
change.
quoi le pays
That
aspire,
is what the
et
country
c'est ce qu'il
is
mérite.
waiting
Cette
for,
majorité de
aspiring to,
changement,
and what it
C'est
deserves.
cela ce que j'attends
This
de vous dans
change
6 semaines,
is what
car
I'm expecting
j'aurai
from
encore
you
et
in the coming
encore
weeks,
besoin de
because
vous.
I shall need you more and more.
Mes chers concitoyens,
My dear
vous toutes et tous
compatriots,
qui êtes
all of
là
you
à mes côtés depuis tant
who
et tant de
have
jours,
accompanied
tant
me,
et tant de
have been
nuits,
by my side so many
peuple
days,
de
so many
France,
nights,
ici rassemblés
the
au
people of
Louvre,
France
nous avons
assembled
la force,
here in the Louvre, we have
nous
the
avons
strength,
l'énergie,
we have the energy,
nous avons la volonté,
we have the determination,
celle
the
qui nous a
will,
portés, qui a fait ce que nous
because
sommes.
it is that which has brought
C'est
us here,
cela
made us what
ce
we
qui
are.
conduira
It
notre
is
avenir.
that which will
Nous ne céderons rien
guide us through our
à la
future,
peur.
and we will not
Nous ne
yield to
céderons rien
fear,
à la
we will not
division.
yield to
Nous ne
any form
céderons
of
rien
division,
au
we
mensonge.
will not yield to
Nous ne
falsehood,
céderons même rien
to nothing,
à l'ironie, à
not to the
l'entre-soi,
irony
à l'amour du déclin ou de la défaite.
or the love of decline and
Je
defeat.
sais
I know
cette ferveur que vous portez.
your
Je sais ce que je vous dois.
ardor, your enthusiasm.
Je sais ce
I
soir
know what I owe
ce
you,
que je dois
and I know what
à mes
I
compagnons de route,
owe
à
to
mes
my
amis,
companions, to my
à ma
friends,
famille
to my family,
et à mes proches.
and to my nearest and dearest.
Ce ne sera pas
It won't be
tous les jours facile.
very
Je le
easy
sais.
every day, I know that.
La tâche sera dure.
The challenge is very,
Je
very
vous
tough,
dirai à chaque fois
and
la vérité.
I will tell the truth each
Et
time.
votre ferveur,
But your
votre énergie,
ardor, your
votre
energy,
courage,
your
toujours,
courage
me porteront.
will carry me through.
Je vous protégerai
I will protect you,
face aux menaces.
confronted as you
Je
are
combattrai pour
by the
vous
threats. I will
contre
fight
le
for
mensonge,
you against
l'immobilisme,
falsehood,
l'inefficacité,
immobilism,